trim and pounds even.
Might get better known welterweight and Trinidad.
A lot of money in the welter few years and his share of it. Or in terms of a good deal in the gym with Vernon, a rising force down the road with some of the bigger names.
The left jab, not afraid of you. I'm going to.
Garr's image. I won't do that. Right hand lands shot.
Moves out of the way before he.
Garr leaping forward with left hook leads. Page throws a right cross lead and lands it flat.
The puncher, you don't want to overcommit yourself by going double.
A good quick left hook there by Page.
You want to take one jab at a time.
Left hook partial.
Garr's had one.
Getting back on his heels a little bit after having felt that left hook. Now there's a right cross that lands for Garr again.
Not necessarily, it used to be called blinky, but
And it threw Page for a little bit because he thought he was hurt by blinking.
A lot of eyes with his performance against Jose Luis, who up to that moment was regarded equal of the quad. 28 handled Muhammad Ali and Joe Frazier.
Page.
Garr trying to during the first minute of round one.
Go to the body and step away at all times. Fence up as he just did that time. Don't step caught by the wild hooks.
And get
Want to step back and not lean back. And that Garr is doing, leaning back just a little.
Combinations. Previously he was one punch at a time. Last combinations. And there's another one and he lands the right cross. And Page momentarily stunned by.
Page is too quickly because he's leaving himself open, like right there.
I think it's one of those things that I would do something else.
With his jab. He needs to avoid that or he's going to find a Page right hand sizzling over the top.
And he's doing a good job in circles. Backwards with a small ring.
There's followed by a left hook and it back.
Let him out, Sam. Let him out.
Close. Page-Sam Garr. Garr hoping to pull a huge up.
Garr's starting to mix. You hit me, I'm hitting you back. And those allow him to do that.
Now, George, why would Mercante
Mind when you hear complaining in advance about Evander Holyfield that Stewart trained Holyfield to enter very well. So he may know could get into Evander's head.
But and then too, you up your so that's a Stewart to mention that.
Planting the seed. A pretty good second round according to punch stat numbers. James Page 25-2. So let's three. Stepping in with the left hook. He's been able to.
Garr's doing fine as long as he keeps his feet moving. Trouble.
That'll be ruled. And again, Garr beating Page to the punch.
But once he throws a hard sets his damage, and that's when he
Punch at a time, and you get the feeling he'd do a lot. There he came back with the left hook to the body, but open. Page, incidentally, left hand, rights with the left, more comfortable standing in the putting his stronger hand out front, and he's been that
of his guys that he knew he was competitive with, winning titles and deciding, hey, I can do this. Get out of jail and he's champ of the world.
scheduled 12. Obscure.
30 to 20, real big welterweight. That punches so hard, 360 in a long, it's incredible. But I tell you, he just stays on top of taking that.
Page's fight to win. Round building, and he's throwing 2 punches according to his own trainer.
He does well when he comes straight side. Interesting to see if he's conditioned.
Oh, he might have wobbled Page with that right hand. Page's left foot lifted off the canvas when he hit. You don't know if he's hurt, George.
That once you hurt him, be in. Frazier, you hurt.
And came back to win the fight.
He was really hurt as hurt.
The right punch, the right.
At this point, he doesn't want to give guard.
It was another sneak right hand over those leaping lefts.
With those shots, and he started trouble. He got into trouble and win and fight his own. Page, let him do what he want to do.
It's one punch at a time and kind of leaps in behind a loaded shot. Minded.
Put way in the
Four by CompuBox numbers, Sam Garr landed 18 of 27 power shots. And here again, he now Page with a
is starting to stand his counter punch. You know, he had this fight in control. He a little bit and started throwing short. Got some confidence. Go back to the gate, so go for it.
Combination by Sam Garr. Garr comes back with his own. Garr with a little smile on his face. That's an opportunity here.
That's what it is. And this
to be bent on trying to
point. Keep just tips punches in a little bit at a time. Just pick up the pace a little bit and just keep a punching. He does that. It's better than a knockdown.
But when he takes a little bit off his fastball, he lands in combination. This has been a good round for James Page, as he seems for the moment to have reached to those left of the ropes. But Garr, this round, as has been the case before, you wonder if he's trying to get a little breather.
You look at the guy's record, and the claimer.
It's a square garden. This
In the fight.
Punches. And he settle down, trying to throw one at a time. Misses a lot. Should put a little skip into his punch.
Four-punch combination by Garr.
See, if you skip forward to meet a guy, don't stop skipping and throwing.
Takes energy. Growing within an hour of the main event, the heavyweight unification battle between Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. James Page has never had a knockdown or a knockout, I should say, past the 6th round. So the book can make it into the 7th. He might have a chance to go the distance with Page. But now there's blood over Garr's left eye, and Page begins to land some of his heaviest shots of the bout. And more has run out of gas.
He was able to throw up.
Eyelid.
Not a lot of blood, just a trickle. We'll check between rounds to see what Cutman Tommy Parks.
Whether Garr got tired or whether Page zeroed in, the result is the same. Page's best round landed some good straight punches instead of throwing all roundhouse punches. Right there, right through with the shoulder. Classic stuff. And as we showed, headbutt.
Didn't work much on that.
Well, that's amateur hour. Hoping for their unheard.
Page is a reminder of fighters like Jimmy Ellis, and to some of the toughest opponents of his career.
That was saying is that the Bay Area fighters over the years.
That's true. They would come up to me for themselves.
Times. Early on, he was in a youth detention center. After credit card, spent a little time in a work release program at San Quentin. And it was during those two stints after having left the sport. And as George said, part of the stimulus was seeing some guys competing as professionals on television, notably Emmett Linton.
Well-known amateur. He had some good fights, as you said, Jim, until he saw the dark side of life in prison, stuff in gear.
George
Page only get back to those if you can get a knockout.
With a record of 23-2 or knockouts, he's probably not in blood.
Now this is a new day, but he's brave.
And he's with those three straight right-hand leads cleanly. For further opportunity, George, one punch at a time doesn't work nearly as well as the combinations did. There's a combination by Sam Garr. Bravery on, not looking.
Sometimes these guys.
Harold, how do you have it through 7?
16, I've got him winning on clean punching and effective aggressiveness. When Smoga, you know, that cut can be a TKO.
Chance that they would not be working the cut because they stopped.
No, I don't think so, because Garr now then leaps in with.
Well, he ran out of gas demonstrably in the 6th round, but came back in the 7th, in the 8th.
This is the kind of fighter you to cut so he can go back.
This is one big 1-2. Instance where it appears a little too much.
The Brits in the background starting to warm up for the main event.
And there are a lot who are looking around now and recognize Holyfield may not have in Madison Square Garden tonight.
They're friends of mine about the fans coming here, and they said, well, the difference between this time and other occasions is that they actually think their man can win.
This in the closing 45 seconds of round 8. Page landed a lot of punches to the head that didn't do right-hand shot to the ribcage.
Uh-oh, hot shot time now.
Garr's mouthpiece almost recognizes the possibility. And Garr, bell will sound.
Bad corner decision to put up the best fight he's had.
In the towel.
Archie Moore, you lift him up, you bring him back. This guy is dependent on combinations of hitting and running.
He would appear to have sent out his cannon fodder in round.
Go as far as he can go, as he wants to go.
Well, this fighter can come back against the opponent and get his confidence again if you manage him right. That's bad.
You can see from the behavior, Garr is going to taste the canvas before he'll get out, and he lands a right cross. Page comes right back, giving and taking.
Page told us he wanted to look beautiful, and I can't say.
Garr's fighting on nothing but heart.
Page kind of collecting his brand. Garr, well aware of what's going on there. He's a bright young man. We enjoyed talking to him yesterday. And when you look at the possible fatigue factor for Garr, oh, and another right cross across the top.
Page,
yeah.
Classes of fight, in some measure, certainly has to do with Page has just kept coming.
That's true.
A slugger who doesn't mind missing because before this kind of a crowd.
Page, I mean, it's the harder. Sam Garr has his moments, lands some great right hands at winning the fight because he's the
only one time. That was in the 12 race. Garr has been as far as 10 only one time. In the past year, Garr's fights have taken him 2-1, 3, 2-5, and 2 rounds. So he's in deep water here and tries to mount yet another offense in the 10th.
Ooh. Down if those punches landed yours.
Look at the stick to it.
Position where he's got to fight or run out of that ring, one of the two.
Identity coming in here to Hart. It's a beating from James Page.
Burning Forest down there in Atlanta, someone like Page.
Page just can't seem to get.
I like what Steve Smoger did there. Check with Page turning into a southpaw momentarily.
So I was stunned to learn tonight. This is the first time Steve has ever been champion James Page to defend his last bout before the Pam Page, mother of life.
Some kids. Going back. Guess he said if it hasn't happened to me, not going to.
It's whacking to the body again with the right hand. And Garr takes the cue to pound to the body. Sam Garr, who's never had exposure like this before, has earned another shot or another opportunity to do something off the bravery of his.
He's laying the hands on Page. Page must be a little bit tired. He's expecting to be here at the center for a full hour.
Crowd pleasing.
Up, throws a haymaker.
Oh, keep him up. Garr fighting through the bloody mask. Takes a hard right. Pays the price for his bravery. The center of the ring for Garr. He's the issue as having been decided in favor of the champion Page. Oh, what a right hand by Garr. In his tracks and sensing an opportunity. Another. It's not out of the question. In the first minute of this
Guy that doesn't fence though, like he even expects to get hit.
Well, for the last 2 rounds coming into this one, the fighters have been landing about 70% of their punches.
Stepping up in class, showing himself.
Garr certainly gets a Purple Heart.
Page is going in just one punch. He'll not throwing more than one at a time.
And earn.
impress everybody that he belonged there, and Felix Trinidad lived up.
Mission not accomplished.
Yeah, he eased up on this guy earlier in the fight, and you can't change boats in the middle of the stream. That's what causes the problem.
He beat a local fighter. I'm just saying.
You're saying that you do put him.
He's jumped over to a tough cookie there.
Pretty doggone good opponent. I don't think anybody here knew that Sam Garr was as good as he's shown in these 12 rounds. Certainly we didn't have a sense of that.
Sam Garr gave himself a night to remember for the rest. Took some real punishment, but will not.
And still WBA welterweight champion of the world, the mighty Quinn J.